Okay, we're on the Tzadi Ches Amud Aleph, about 10 lines down in the wide lines. Amar Rav Alexandri, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Rami. Rav Alexandri said Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi asked the following question: Ksiv bi'ita, uksiv achishena. The pasuk says two contradictory things. It says, where is it? Here. Hakatin yel elef atzar l'goyotzam hani Hashem bi'ita achishena. It says, I'll come in my time, and achishena. Achishena means I'll go fast. So what is it? Is it going to come? Is Mashiach going to come at the expected time? Is the Rebbeinu Shalom going to bring him quicker than that? So the Gemara is, achishena lo yizachu be'ita. If Yezaycha, he'll come quickly. If not, he'll come at the appointed time. Amar Rabbi Alexandri, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi asked the second question. Va'aru imanani shmaya kvar inish kibar inish. And like anani shmaya, like the clouds in the sky, it will be like a person coming. So that's very fast. The clouds move quickly in the sky. Except as the Mashiach is going to come like a riding on a donkey, which is very slow. So it's going to be fast or slow. And the Gemara zachu emanani shmaya. If Yezaycha, then it will be like the clouds in the sky. La zachu ani roichev ala chavar. If not, then it will be like a poor person on a donkey. Amalei shvar malka l'shmuel. Shvar Malka is the name of this person who was always asking questions. Amrisu Mashiach al Chamr Asi. It says in the pasuk that Mashiach is going to come on a donkey. Ishtale Susi Barka. I have got. Let me give him a good donkey. He was making fun. I mean, a good horse. He said I have either a fast horse or a beautiful horse. Why should he go on a donkey? Disli that I own. Amalei mi islach bar chiyuri gavni. So he answered him back, do you have a horse with 100 colors? The donkey that Mashiach is going to be coming on is going to be a very colorful donkey. And so therefore we're not interested in your horse. That's Gavni is, Rashi says, 100 in Persian. Just a second. Yeshua ben Levi, Ashkechel Eliyo. Yeshua ben Levi found Eliyo Anovi. Dahavika Ifsecha the Ma'arasa the Shemeichai. He was standing on the opening of the cave of Shimon Yochai. Amalei Asina La'almadasi. Yeshua ben Levi asked Eliyo Anovi, am I going to go to Elam Haba? Amalei Im Yirtza Adin Hazeh. Says if the Rebbeinu Shalom wants, then you'll go. Amar Yeshua ben Levi, Shnayim Ra'isi v'Koil Gimel Shamati. He said, I only saw me. He said, I was only me, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi and Eliyahu, but I heard a third voice, meaning the Rebbeinu Shalom was also participating in the conversation. Amalei Amos Asi Mashiach. He asked Eliyahu, when is Mashiach coming? Amalei Zil Shaili L'Didei. He said, why are you asking me? Eliyahu Navi said, why are you asking me? Go ask Mashiach himself. V'hecha Yosef. So he asked him, where was he sitting? V'hecha, where is he? Yosef apischa de karta. He's sitting at the entrance to Yerushalayim. Umasim money. What's the simon that you'll know who's Mashiach? Yosef beini ani yisav lechalayim. He's sitting amongst aniyim who are all afflicted with sick diseases, like they have tzaras, Rashi says. B'kulan shor v'asir b'chad zimna. All of the other aniyim that have tzaras, they take off their bandages, they take them all off, and they put on new ones. Iu shari chad v'aser chad. But Mashiach ben David, he takes off one bandage, and then he puts on the new bandage, and then he takes another one. He doesn't do all of his bandage at the same time. Why? Amar dilma mavina delay Yaakov. Maybe they're going to need me, and I don't want to delay my coming. So he does it. He only does one bandage. He could quickly put on a new bandage, and he doesn't have to put on all of his bandages at the same time.
This is another tzaras from the Raisa.
Why did he have to? No, they were sick. They had leprosy, I guess.
But it wasn't a tzaras.
Even tzaras is not leprosy. Yeah, what does Rashi say? I don't know why Mashiach has it all together.
So that's a good disguise.
So Rashi, Soivle Chaloyim Minugoyim. So it doesn't say Dafka Tzaras. Hunami Minuga Dechsevahu Mechulul V'Avshenu Ksev V'Chaliyasei Hunasa Kulu V'Shir Sha'ava V'Chamish Nugoyim. Azu V'Shar V'Chadam Atim. It's he says in nega. He doesn't say Dafka Tzaras. He has some kind of affliction, like leprosy, something like that. Also, Legabe, so Yeshua ben Levi went up to Mashiach. Amalei Shalom Alecha Rabbi Umari. He said to the Mashiach, Shalom Alecha, my Rebbe and my master. Amalei Shalom Alecha Ba'ali Boy. So he said to Yeshua ben Levi, Yeshua ben the father's was Levi. He said, Shalom Alecha, the son of Levi. Amalei Le'emas Asimar. So he asked him the first question everyone asks, when are you coming? Amalei Hayoim. Mashiach said, I'm coming today. Also Gabelio finished the conversation. He went back to Leo. Amalei Maya Amalach. Leo asked him, what did Mashiach tell you? Amalei Shalom Alecha Ba'adavoy. He said, Shalom to me. Amalei Avtecha Lecha Ula'avucha Da'alma Da'asi. You and your father are both assured of Olam Haba, because he wouldn't have addressed you in such a respectful manner. He wouldn't have said Shalom Alecha if you weren't worthy. Amalei Shakurish Kashakabi. But Yeshua ben Levi said to Leo that Mashiach lied to me. Amalei Hayoim Asina B'Le'asa. He said he's coming today and he didn't come. Amalei Hachi Amalach. This is what he meant to say. Hayoim Mekailei Tishmo. The Rebbeinu Shalom assures the Yidden that if you listen to my voice, then it'll be Hayoim. The day that all the Yidden will listen, that's when Mashiach will come. Shalu Tamida Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma. Amasai ben David ba. They asked him, when is Ben David? When is Mashiach coming? He said, I don't want to tell you, because if I tell you, then all of a sudden you're going to want me to verify, to bring an ice to prove. Like we said, a Navi has to bring an ice. So you're going to ask me to bring an ice to prove that what I'm saying is true. I don't want to be put in that position of having to do an ice. We're not going to ask you. Amalei, so he said, okay, then in that case, I'll tell you when Mashiach is coming. Rashi says they were standing by the gates of Rome. He says when the gates of Rome will fall, the Yivne, and they rebuild it, the Yipol, and they'll fall, the Yivne, the Yipol, and they'll fall down a third time. They're not going to rebuild the gates of Rome for the third time until Mashiach comes. So what happened? Of course, Amalei Rabbeinu Tain Lanu Ice. They said, okay, we want to know for sure that this is true. The Rebbe knows his Talmidim.
How could they ask him that the Kuf of Nevi'im was long gone?
There's Ruach HaKodesh. I don't know. I don't know. It's such a thing that the Kuf of Nevi'im is over and there can't be Nevi'im anymore. I mean, I don't think that the only Nevi'im are those that were B'Shas the time of Nevi'im. Can't be a Navi later. Someone can't say Nevuah, have Ruach HaKodesh. You're saying that the ice, maybe the ice wasn't, an ice of Nevuah. That was my understanding of it. You're saying maybe it would just give us an ice that what you're saying is true. I don't know. You don't think it's like a din Nevuah?
And I have this association, I don't know why. But it's since we don't have the Sephora for Bozor, the
Nevuah also
was Mulatto.
Right, it sounds familiar. I mean, that's the best I can understand of what this discussion is. Like, what? But why do they want ice? Like, what is it? He said what he said. Where is there such a thing as asking for an ice other than by Nevuah? That's all. That's the reason why I was saying that pshat. But you might be right. Didn't we already agree beforehand that you're not going to ask me this? They said, even so, you're the Rebbe, we're asking it, so we'd like you to do it. So he said, He said, if what I'm saying is correct, the water in front of the cave of Pamayas should turn to dam. The nefchul dam, and that's not what happened. He provided an ice, and it occurred. B'shas p'tirase, as he was dying, Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma, Amalan hemikuli aroni. I want you to bury my aron, my coffin should be deep down under the ground. There's not going to be a single, when the Parsiim invade at the Milchama of Gog uMagog, there won't be any tree that won't have one of their horses attached to it. And there's not they're going to dig up all of the coffins, all the aronis in Eretz Yisrael and use them to feed their horses. They're going to use them to hold the food as a feeding trough. Oichel by Tevin, that they're going to fill with grain to feed the horses. It's going to be such huge invading armies, so bury me very deep, so they won't dig me up to use the wood for my iron. Amarav, Ein bin David ba ad shetispashet malchus harasha al Yisrael. Ben David is not going to come. Mashiach is not coming until the dominion of Rome, of Edom, will extend over all the Yidden that are spread all over the world, Tish Chadashim, for 9 months. Ad Eis Yolda. I'm going to give you to them until the time that a woman gives birth. Yes, and at that point, then the rest of the Yidden will be returned to join with the Yidden B'nai Yisrael. Amar Ula, turmoil, when Edom is going to be ruling over everything that the Yidden, everywhere the Yidden are, will be for 9 months, and then the Yidden will finally return to be unified. Amar Ula, Yasi v'loy achemina, echmine. Ula says, I want the Mashiach to come, but I don't want to see it. I want him to come, but I don't want to be there. Rav Yosef disagreed. They said, as we're going to see what the reasons why they didn't want to be there when Mashiach came. Rav Yosef says, I want to be there, and I'll sit under the shade of the waist of his chamar, meaning it's kedai, whatever will come along with it, at least even if I'll just be sitting next to the chamar's waist, it's still worth it. My timer, what is the reason that you don't want to be there when Mashiach comes? Because you don't want to suffer through the Chevlei Mashiach. What can a person do to save himself from the birth pangs of Mashiach? You should learn Torah and be a chasadim. You have both of those milas. You already have them. You learn and you do gemilas chasadim. So you should be immune from Chevlei Mashiach. He says, I'm not confident. Maybe I've done chatayim, even though I have the things that should protect me, but the my chatayim, will take away the protection from me. Like Rabbi Yaakov Rami, says about Yaakov Avinu. The Rebbe Shalom told him that he's going to protect him. I'm going to be with you and I'm going to protect you wherever you go. That Yaakov was very afraid. Why would he be afraid if the Rebbe Shalom already assured him that he's going to protect him? He was worried that maybe his chatayim took away his protection. Kedetanya, Ad Yavar Amcha Hashem Zu Bia Rishayna. When the Yidden left Mitzrayim, that's the Bia Rishayna. That's when Hashem passed them out into. Actually, not Bia Yisrael. It's when the Yidden came into Eretz Yisrael with Yeshua after Yitzias Mitzrayim. That's the first Bia, and there were many things in there. The Rebbe Shalom crossed them through the Yarden, and he knocked down Yerichai. Then it says Ad Yavar Amzu Kanisa. Then a second Ad Yavar, when Hashem passed them into Eretz Yisrael. This is at the time of Ezra when they returned from Galus. Zubi Yashnia. The two entrances into Eretz Yisrael really should have been the same, that they should have both been treated similarly. But unfortunately, because of the Chatayim of the Yidden, the second time they came in, they didn't get the same treatment. They didn't get the Nisim, accompanying Nisim, when they came into Eretz Yisrael because of the Chatayim. Chenam Rabbi Yochanan, Yaisi v'loy achi mini. I want Mashiach to come, but I don't want to be part of it. Amle Reish Lakish, my time. Why is it that you're afraid? Ilay mishum d'chsev kasher Yonas ish bnei Ari. Just at the time of Chavlei Mashiach, it's going to be like a person running away from a lion. Upago hadayv. When he gets away from the lion, he'll encounter a bear. Uba abayis. Then he finally gets home. He gets away from the bear and he gets home. V'samach yadei al akir. Puts his hand on the wall. V'nashchu nachash. And then a snake bites him. So he says, if that's what you're worried about, you're saying that there's going to be so many troubles that you're going to be done with one. Before you finish with one, the next one's going to jump on you. He says, now that we're in Gullus, are we really any better off? When he leaves, goes out to work, upaga by Santa, there's one government official that's chasing them there. It's like he's meeting a lion. Nichnas Le'ir, when he comes into the town after his day's work, he comes across a tax collector. It's like meeting a bear. Nichnas Le'Beisa, when he comes into his house, he sees his sons and daughters starving. As if he got bitten by a snake. He says, you're worried about Chavlei Mashiach, but we're in Galus, it's just as bad. So why is it Taka that he was saying he didn't want to be there at the time of Chavlei Mashiach? Go and look if it's a male. Why do we see every man with his hands on his thighs, as if he's giving birth? And everyone's faces are turned green. What is it referring to when it says, I see every man? It's referring, Rashi says, to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Others say it's referring to the tzaddikim. And it's saying they're going to be in such terrible pain. It's as if they're giving birth. The Rebbeinu Shalom is going to be in pain. What's the pain? The heavenly retinue and that's both above and below. The Rebbeinu Shalom is going to say at the time when Mashiach is supposed to come, now we're going to have to go destroy all the other ummas. How can I destroy them? So he was saying, I don't want to be there when the Rebbeinu Shalom is in a quandary, that he wants to save the Yid and he wants to bring Mashiach, but then he's going to be faced with the necessity of destroying the whole rest of the world, and the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to be kaviyachal hesitant about it. So he said, I don't want to be there for that. That's going to be too disturbing to be put in that, to be worried that the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to decide not to go ahead.
So this implies that the Goyim are not going to be out there to serve us?
But he's going to destroy whatever they have. They're not. We had that question before. Are they all going to be killed, or are they going to be retained to do work? But in any case, they're going to be taken away from their positions, from being on top.
This is such a horrible thing.
Yeah. I know it's a little hard to understand why that is so terrible. Amar Papa Hainu Damri Inchi Ra'at v'Nafel Tura v'Azal v'Shadi le'Susei b'Uriya. When a person has a bull or a cow that he uses for work, and it fell down, it broke its foot, so it's not able to work anymore. So it loses its spot at the trough, and the horse takes it over. So then when the time comes for the Torah to be reinstated, then he's going to have to kick away the sus from the feeding trough. The same thing that the Rebbeinu Shalom has to he allowed in the meantime for the goyim to have ascendancy for a time, but at the end it's going to be tough. He's going to have to kick them out from their position on top. Amar Rav Gidel Amar Rav, Asidin Yisrael da'achli shnei Mashiach. Rav Gidel Bar Rav says the Yidden are going to benefit at the times of Mashiach. Amar Rav Yosef Pshita. Well, who? Ve'elaman achalu. Who else is going to benefit at that time? Chilik ubilik. This is very interesting. So, what does that mean? Chilik and bilik are going to be the ones to benefit. The Rashi on the top. It's like Beryl and Shmerel. Who's going to eat it? Beryl and Shmerel, Chilik and bilik. I think I have to start using that expression in my own life. Chilik and bilik. Right. It's like the Gemara Lafukim der of Hillel. It's coming to exclude from Hillel. The Amar Ei Mashiach Yisrael Shevachlu b'mei Chizkiah. Hillel has a very chiddush pshat. He says Chizkiah was already Mashiach. There's no need for Mashiach to come. Amar Rav Le Avri Alma El David. The world was not created except for David. Rashi says it means it was created b'schus David. B'schus David she'ya'asud la'mekamash v'shpachos. When the world was created, it was sufficient just for David. Shmuel Amal Moshe Rabbeinu, Yochanan Amal Mashiach, for Mashiach. Mashmoi, what is the name of Mashiach? The Beir of Shila, Amri Shila. The Beir of Shila coincidentally says his name was Shila. Shmoi, Shenema Ad Ki Yaveh Shila, until Shila comes. So that's a reference to Mashiach. The Beir of B'yani Amri Yonan Shmoi. B'yani, everyone's saying a name. The Mefarshim explain, it doesn't mean that this is the only name. They're arguing about what his name is. They're saying these are aspects of his name that they're all talking about the name that's similar to their own. So the Beir B'yani Amri Yanan Shmoi. His name is Yanan. Continue. Shenema Yihi Shmoi La'olam L'fnei Shemesh Yanan Shmoi. That his name should last forever, for like the sun, and his name is something that endures forever. The Beir of Chanina Amar Chanina Shmoi. His name is Chanina. Shenema Shalo Eten Lechem Chanina. I'm not going to have Rachmanus on you. His name is Menachem ben Chizkiah. Shenema Ki rachak mimeni Menachem Meshev Nafshay. It's far away from me, the Menachem, the one who will console me, the one who will redeem me. But the point of the matter, the bottom line is, we're not going to be able to identify him by his name. He has way too many names to know who he is. But certainly the Chabad like this last pshat.
It kind of says that everybody looks at the world through their own prism. My name.
Exactly. Right. Everyone's saying, yeah, that we're all
right, and you're right, and everybody's right.
Right. Rabbanan Amri, Chavira debei Rebbe Shmoi, like the Mitzayra of Rebbe, from the house of Rebbe. Doesn't mean that's his name. That's the way he's identified. Shenema Achen Chalinuhu Noisa. He's bearing his illness. Umakayvenu Savlam, and he's absorbing the pain. Vanachnu Chashavnuhu Nagua Muka Alekim. We thought of him as just someone who's a menuga, who's afflicted, Umauna, and poor. Amar of Nachman, Imin Chayahu, if he's currently alive, Kagoina no. He's like me. Shnama Vahia Adiroi Mimenu, Umoishlai Mikirba Yatza. He is from the Adiroi, is from the rulers. Nachman was the ruler of the Yidden, was the Nasi, and he's coming out from amongst us. Amar Rav, Imin Chayahu Kagoina Rabbeinu HaKadosh. Rav says he would be like Rabbeinu HaKadosh, who was also the Nasi of the Yidden and very wealthy. He would be like Daniel. Daniel was another person who was roy to be Mashiach. Amar Rav Yudam Rav, Asad HaKadosh Baruch Hu Lahemed Lahem David Acher. The Rebbeinu Shalom is someday going to install a second David HaMelech. It's almost like a clone. That the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to make someone to be, the Mashiach is going to be like David. Shenamar v'avdu with Hashem Elokeim ve'ez David Malcolm asher oken lohem. and they're going to be Oived Hashem and David your Melech, who I'm going to install. Hakim Le'namar, it doesn't say that I already placed for you. It doesn't mean the David that I already got for you. Ela Hakim, a new David. Amle Rapapal Abaye Vaksiv David Avdi Nasi Lahem Lo'ilam. It says David will be a Nasi forever. So in Keser Upalgi Keser. Einachanami, the original David is going to be in a lower position. He's going to be the vice president. And Mashiach, the new David, he's going to be the real thing. Einachanami, the original David will remain. Don't ask any questions. I don't know the answers to any of this. Unless you have something to add.
I'm sure there's some sort of a chassidus.
Darish Simloi. Maidachsev hem misavenes yom Hashem. Lamas alecha. I'm sorry. Hoy hamisavenes yom Hashem. Gewalt on those who are waiting for the day when Hashem is going to be ascended. Lamas alechem yom Hashem. What's so good about this? It's going to be dark and not light. Mashal etarnagol va'atlef. So this is speaking to the Umas Olam. Saying, why are you waiting for the day of Mashiach? It's not going to be good for you. It's going to be, the Yom Hashem is going to be dark and not light. Mashal etarnagol va'atlef. It's named to a chicken, a rooster, and a bat. A bat can't see anything, so it flies in the dark. Shayom etzap and Lar, they were both waiting for the light. Amal etarnagol va'atlef. The rooster says to the bat, Ani etzap al irish alihi. I'm waiting for the light because I'm the rooster. That's my job. When it turns when sunrise, I make my noise. But what good is the light going to be for you? You can't see anyway. This Apikoros said to Rebavo, when is Mashiach coming? He says when it's going to be dark for people like you. Amalei Melit Kalayitli, you're cursing me that it's going to be dark for me when Mashiach comes. Amalei Kroksiv, I'm sorry, that's what the pasuk says. The darkness will cover the land. It's going to be pitch black for the nations. But on you, the Yid, and the light is going to shine. And you're going to see the covered Hashem. Tanya. The days of Mashiach, I think it means that there's a limited amount of days of Mashiach, and then after it's going to be Olam Haba. So he said those days of Mashiach are 40 years. The Baruch Shalom says, I'm going to take you for 40 years. This is in Tehillim. It's referring to, but Pashas is talking about in the Midbar, but he understands that they're referring to the Yemei Moshiach. Well, as Ben Azariah, I'm a Shivim Shan, 70 years. Beyond that day, V'nishkachas Tzoyer she Shivim Shana. Tzoyer, the kingdom of Tzoyer will be forgotten for 70 years. Kimei Melech Echad, like a single king. Ezu Melech Meyuchad Havi Yom Ezeh Mashiach. Who is the Melech Meyuchad that was saying that Tzoyer is going to be forgotten for 70 years? That's like the Melech Echad is Mashiach. So Mashiach is going to be the Melech for 70 years. Rabbi Aimesh Shloisha Doros. Rabbi says for 3 generations. Shenema Yerucha Am Im Shemesh V'Lem Fnei Yerach. Yerucha Im Shemesh V'Lem Fnei Yerach. You'll be in front of the sun and the moon. Dor Dorim. For Dor and then 2 Doros. So that's altogether the 3 Doros. Rav Hillel Omer, this is the quoted on Amud Beis that I don't think Dovi heard this, but you'd be very surprised. The Mashiach. So Rashi, Ein Lehem Mashiach Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yilmech Ba'atzmai, V'Yigalim Levadei. There's no Mashiach coming anymore. He already came. Amr Rabbi Yosef. Sharali Mari l'Reb Hillel. The Rebbe should have Rachmanis on Reb Hillel. It's that Yimchal Lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shama Dvar Mashal Lo Kain. Should be forgiven. He's trying to talk and learning. You shouldn't hold it against him. Chizkiah, and I'll prove it to you that he's wrong. Chizkiah Amos have it. Bayis Rishon. Chizkiah was at the time of the first Beis Hamikdash. Vilu Zechariah Kamas Navi B'Bayis Sheni, And Zechariah was saying Nevuah in by the second bias. Amar Gili, I'm very hot. Gili, you should rejoice. Bas Tzion, Hari Bas Yushalayim, you should make blow the shofar. Hincha Malchacha Yavoy, your king is coming. Yava Lechat Tzadik, V'Noisahu. He's a tzaddik and he's coming. Ani v'roichav al chamar. He's poor and he's riding on a donkey. Al ayer ben asainis, and on a donkey, the son of a mule, or mule, the son of a donkey. So that's you see that by Bayis Sheni they were still talking about Mashiach coming. So obviously he couldn't have come at the time of Chizkiah, which is in Bayis Rishon. Tanya idach Rabbi Elazar Omer Yemoisa Mashiach Arbaim Shana. He says it's 40 years. Ksiv hacha. It says during the midbar, it says the Rebbe Shalom says, I caused you pain and you fought, and then I fed you the man. I'll give you simcha like the years of your pain. The years that you saw bad. So it's a reference that you can have simcha like the years of pain, which we said, so we see the same word, anisani. Anisan is a hektish.
Even with the demand, I told the Nisha, how could you say that it wasn't? I don't think it wasn't.
Well, there was a lot of times that they complained about various things. They always said there was no water, there's no food to eat, there's no this, they all died because of the Meraglim. It was a constant travails.
It was a pros and cons, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Abdoisa Eimer, they said Dal Mei Shana. It's 400 years. Siv Hacha Ba'avdam Ve'idu Oisam Arba Mei Shana. Says about that the Yidden were sent into Galus in Mitzrayim for 400 years to work in Mitzrayim. Ksiv Hasam Samchenu K'maisi Nisanu. Again, Ve'inu Oisam. So it's a reference to the 400 years that they were in Mitzrayim. Rabbi Eimer Gimel Meish V'Shishim V'Chamesh Shana. He says 365 years. Kaminyan Yemoisa Chama, like the amount of days of in a solar year. Shenema Kiyayim Nacham Belibi, the day that there's vengeance in my heart. Ushnas Gaya Liba, the day of your Geula is coming. Ma Yayim Nekam Belibi. So that anyway, that's the raya. So we say that this is again a reference to let's see Rashi. It's a reference to Yom Nakam Belibi. It's a reference to Meraglim, that they were punished. The Yidden were punished for 40 years in the Midbar because of the 40 days that the Meraglim were in Eretz Yisrael, and they came back and they said they're Lashon Hara. So just like over there, it was 1 year for every day. So too, when we say over here, we're talking about a year. V'shnas Goya Liba, Shnas, the Shana is 1 year for every day. So a day is made up of 365 days, so therefore it's 365 years. Amar of Yechanan, this pasuk it says a libi galisi, that I'm going to be megala you to my heart. Lavroi lo galisi, but I didn't send it out. The Rebbe Shalom says I kept it in my heart, but I never expressed it. I said it to myself, but I didn't let the Malachei Asharis know about this. Tani Avimi Breder Bavo. Yemois HaMashiach LiYisrael Shiva Alofim Shana. It's going to be 7,000 years. The Yemois HaMashiach Shenamar Umisois Chasen Al Kala Yasa Alayach Alekayach. Just like Simchas Chasen the Kala is for 7 days. So, and the 1,000 years is like a day for the Rebbeinu Shalom. So that's 7,000 years. Amar Yudah Mashmul Yemois HaMashiach K'viyem Shenivra Olam V'Arachshav. It's going to be equivalent to the amount of days from the creation of the earth until today. Shenema Kimei Shamayim Al Haaretz. The days of Shamayim are like those of the Haaretz. The Haaretz are going to be the days up till Mashiach comes, and when after Mashiach comes, it's going to be equivalent. Yemei Shamayim. Nachman Yitzchak Amar Kimei Noach Arachshav, from Noach. Say the Mefarshim say because the world was first really recreated at the time of Noach. So that's the Yemei Shemayim, the Yemei Aretz. Shnamar Kimei Noach Zoisli Asher Nishbati. This is what I swore is from the Yemei Noach. Amar B'chia bar Abba Amar Yechanan. Kol Nevi'im Kulam Lo Nisnavu Oli Moisa Mashiach. They only were misnava about the Moisa Mashiach. Aval Olam Haba Ayin Le'Rasa Elikim Zula Secha. No one has seen it except for the Rebbeinu Shalom. No one can. The mind can't grasp what Olam Haba is. That's what the Rebbeinu Shalom will provide for those who wait for him. But he's arguing on Shmuel. The Amar Shmuel, Eimer Olam Hazeli Moisa Mashiach Elashibud Malchi Yisbolvad. He says that the Olam Haba that's going to come after Yemais Mashiach is not any different than today. It's not the first, according to the first pshat, the Olam Haba, the eventual state that's going to come, and I guess it's after the Yemais Mashiach and after the 1,000 years that the Rebbeinu Shalom is Niskav Hashem Levadei, then it will reach a state that nobody can understand. But Shmuel says no, that those days are not going to be any different. The only difference is going to be that there's not going to be any umus attacking us. The reward tzadikim gemurim, no one can think about it. But for Bali Tshuva, that's all the nevuos about the good that's going to be b'yemais HaMashiach. That's for the Bali Tshuva. But tzadikim gemurim are at a different level. Poliga the Rabavo, he's disagreeing with Rabavo, which I'm sure you all thought of. The Amar Rabavo, that Bali Tshuva are at a higher level than tzadikim gemurim. So how could it be that the tzadikim got a reward bigger than the Bali Tshuva? Shenamar shalom shalom l'rachik u'l'karev. Bereisha rachik v'hadar karev. First, it's those who are far. Those are mentioned first, the Bali Tshuva. Then afterwards, the kroivim, the tzadikim. My rachik to me karev. Rachik means those that were originally far away. My karev to me karev. Those who were always close from the beginning. Udahashta, the Mekar Udahashta, from the beginning close, and then at the end they're still close. Rabbi Yochanan interprets this pasuk differently. When it says the rachak, it means those who are far away from Avera. Karav shu karav me'avera v'nisrachik, meaning those who originally were involved in Avera and they were nisrachik. So he says the rachak, which is mentioned first, is a reference to tzadikim gemur. All the nevuos of the Nevi'im, of what's going to be lavai, those are for someone who marries his daughter to a Talmud Chacham, who provides, who gives stock to Talmidei Chachamim, who provides them an opportunity to make money. Provides stock to them. The Talmidei Chacham themselves are going to get a type of reward that we can't even fathom. My ayin le'rasa, Amar Yeshua. What does that mean? Amar Yeshua ben Levi zeh yayin hamashum me'anav m'sheish yimei breishus, like wine that's been saved from sheish yimei breishus. Rishlakish Amar zeh Eden. It's got the Eden of Gan Eden. Lo rasa ayin me'olam, which no one has ever seen. I'm talking about Adam Heichandar. Where was Adam? Adam Rishon was in Eden. So come on, no, began. He was in the Gan, not in Eden. Same time, a Gan to Eden. We always think Gan Eden is one thing. It's all the same. Pasuk says that the river went out of Eden to feed the Gan. So the Gan Eden, Adam never went into. That's saved for tzaddikim. La'ased lavai. Okay, we'll stop over here, and we're finished with the Mashiach for now.
I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, you enjoyed it. I mean,